Coming up, we take a look at all of the exciting new attractions coming to Walt Disney World in 2019. Disney presents Beyond the Kingdoms. Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's main show of Beyond the Kingdoms. Like always, I'm your host David, and today I'm taking a look at all of the new things coming to Disney World next year. Today's episode of Beyond the Kingdoms is proudly sponsored by SmallWorldVacations.com, authorized Disney vacation planners. Their team of knowledgeable agents have been creating the magic for over 20 years, and they can book your next trip to Walt Disney World. Just visit their website to get a free quote. Small World Vacations, where the magic begins. Okay, so I've divided today's episode into three main sections. First, we're going to look at all the big, obvious new additions coming to the parks in Florida for 2019. Then I'll look into more specific little details of all the new stuff coming in January and February. And finally, to round out the episode, I'll take a quick look at some refurbishments for the next 2 months as well. Alright, so no show looking at 2019 would be complete without looking at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. This is without a doubt the most anticipated thing coming to the Disney parks this next year. The latest update we got on this is that we have official attraction names for the 2 new rides coming to the land. First, we've got Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. This is the one I am most excited for. This attraction will put you in the cockpit of the most iconic spaceship in the Star Wars franchise. And the main selling point here is that this ride is going to be completely interactive. You'll get to pilot the ship yourself, and there'll be various stories and destinations that you'll visit. And how well you fly the ship may give you a reputation. And Disney has hinted that some of these details could be encrypted into your magic bands, which would allow cast members and actors roaming the land to interact with you. So if you do a good job of flying the Millennium Falcon, someone might recruit you to do a mission for them. Or if you fail a mission, you could have bounty hunters chasing you down in the land. So that's going to be really exciting. And then next, the real big daddy attraction of this land will be called Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. This will be the land's more family-friendly ride. This is assumed to have no height restrictions given that the ride vehicle seems to accommodate everybody. The attraction will put guests in the middle of a battle between the Resistance and the First Order. And this is going to be a mixture of huge practical sets and props with a little bit of usage of some screens, but I don't think too much. And we have all seen that giant AT-AT set piece that looks fantastic that will be located within the attraction. So this is going to be the big heavy hitter of Star Wars Land. We also recently found out that the dining location in this land will be called OGA'S Cantina. Now, so far, Disney has only really given information about the drinks happening in this establishment. They seem to be promoting this as a bar and watering hole for people from around the galaxy. So we haven't had any details on food, but Disney has explicitly mentioned that there'll be both alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks in here. And of course, there'll be live entertainment. No Cantina in Star Wars is complete without that. And we'll get to see RX-24, which some of you may recognize from the original Star Tours attraction, and he's been repurposed into the bar's DJ. In terms of dates, all we know right now for Disney's Hollywood Studios is that this is going to open in fall 2019. That could fall anywhere between like September, even as late as December. So hopefully soon we'll start to get more details. But of course, the Disneyland version will be opening first, I believe, in May. But before then, there's lots of other stuff coming to Hollywood Studios. And in the spring of 2019 will be the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy. This will debut at Sunset Showcase. This is the theater that's located in between Rock and Roller Coaster and the Tower of Terror. Some of you may know this location from Club Villain, which had a short run just a couple of years ago. And inside the theater, guests will see Lightning McQueen himself, presumably a very large animatronic, and a huge 2-story screen that will wrap around the audience. This thing will stretch 200 feet from end to end, so it'll be a very immersive experience. And this is believed to be very similar to Turtle Talk in that the characters will interact with guests, and McQueen is essentially teaching people all the techniques he's learned from racing the track. So he's basically training up a new group of racers. Disney has also said that outside of the theater, I assume this will be in the courtyard area in front of the theater, which is quite big, guests will be able to meet Cruz Ramirez. This was previously located in the old Pixar Place location. Obviously, it did so well that Disney is deciding to bring it back, so that will be fun for Cars fans. And in May of 2019, I assume that this will be probably premiering on May 1st, which is Hollywood Studios' 30th anniversary date. We've got The Wonderful World of Animation. This show will take guests on the 90-year history of Disney animation, starting with Mickey Mouse himself. So this is of course part of Mickey's 90th birthday celebration. This show will use new state-of-the-art projection technology, very similar to what we've already seen on the Chinese theater and during Flurry of Fun on the Tower of Terror. And it hasn't been officially said, but I think it's pretty well accepted that this will be replacing the Disney Movie Magic projection show. So if you're a big fan of that, which I really am, and you're visiting before May, make some time to go see it before it goes away, because it's a great show. Now, moving out of Disney's Hollywood Studios and into summer, the next new addition coming to Disney World is in Disney Springs. We've got the new CityWorks Eatery and Pour House. This was originally slated to open in the spring, but it's been bumped back to summer, so this could open in early summertime. And this will be a new restaurant and bar that will be located in the west side area of Disney Springs. The restaurant will feature several high-definition televisions and a giant 165-foot screen to watch various sporting events. On top of the food, the bar will also feature 80 different beers on tap, some of them from local breweries and others from around the world. Sticking to summer, let's move into July of 2019, where we've got the grand opening of the Gran Destino Tower at Coronado Springs. I'm really excited for this. So reservations are now open and guests can start staying here in July, and the new tower will feature 545 new guest rooms. 50 of them will be suites. Now there'll be 3 different suites ranging from an executive and 1-bedroom suite that will sleep 4 guests, and a presidential suite that can sleep up to 6 guests. And all of the suites will have club access like the deluxe resort. So this is the first time we're going to see club access come to a moderate resort. If the suites are too much for you, you can also get these standard tower rooms, which come in 2 formats. Either you can get 2 queen beds, which will obviously sleep 4, or get a room with just 1 king bed, which will be really ideal for couples. Both of these come with either a water view or standard view, and there's also the option to get a king room with club level access as well, and it only comes with a standard view, it looks like. Now in terms of pricing, these standard tower rooms start at about $220 a night and go up to $300 a night. That club level standard room will start at $300 a night. And the suites have a big price range. They can go anywhere from $500 a night to $1,300 a night. So this hotel will now have a very wide range of rooms and pricing. Standard rooms that are not in the tower start at about $180 a night. So that's a big price range. Along with the new tower, we're also going to be getting 2 new restaurants at Coronado Springs. We've got the 3 Bridges Bar and Grill in the middle of the lake, and Toledo, which will be a new table service restaurant at the very top of that new tower. The restaurant will serve tapas, steak, and seafood, so it's going to have a very Spanish influence to it. And the main selling point here is that you will get a little bit of a view of fireworks, presumably mostly the Hollywood Studios fireworks. Then to round out the summer, in August, we've got the D23 Expo. This is going to be taking place August 23rd through the 25th in Anaheim, California. And the only reason I mention this is because we're probably going to get a lot more details on attractions that are coming in the future after 2019. So obviously we might get an opening date for the Tron coaster coming to Magic Kingdom. And we'll presumably get more details on some of the new hotels coming to Disney World. Of course, at the forefront of everyone's mind is the new Star Wars hotel. Now, this is a little tricky. It looks like this one could open after the land opens. It could open in early 2020, but we don't have confirmation yet, so I hope that they mention this at the expo. Also in 2020, we have the COVE, which is a new hotel that will be part of the Swan and Dolphin complex. So that's going to have 3 hotels now there. And of course, we've got the new Reflections DVC resort, which will be opening up sometime in the future. I would like to think before 2021. And this is said to be located somewhere near Wilderness Lodge. But the big focus, I think, for D23 this year will certainly be Epcot. 2019 is going to be all about Hollywood Studios getting all these new additions opened up finally, and then I think the next big round of new things and openings will be at Epcot, obviously. So some things we already know that are coming we might get dates for, like the Remy Ratatouille adventure coming to France. Also, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster. And maybe some more details on the space restaurant. Now, this restaurant has already started recruiting staff that will potentially work in the restaurant, so it's unclear if this will be late 2019 or into 2020, so that's another thing to look out for. And of course, Disney has already mentioned that O Canada and Reflections of China will be updating their screens to be a new seamless Circle Vision screen, and I think even a new film, so we haven't heard much on those 2 things. So maybe at D23 we'll get more details. And of course, we'll probably get more details on the upcoming Epcot Nighttime Spectacular that is set to debut in 2020. Now, sticking to Epcot and fireworks, let's now move into the fall, where we will have the premiere of Epcot Forever. This is going to be a temporary show. So basically, Illuminations will be ending sometime at the end of the summer of 2019, and we're not getting our new show till 2020. So in between is when we're getting this Epcot Forever show. And it sounds like this is going to be a send-off to the old Epcot as we welcome in a whole new version of Epcot that's coming in the future. Disney has said that this show will feature classic Epcot tunes and will begin with a spark of imagination that swells into an epic spectacle of fireworks. So right there, we can probably bank on some Figment songs and older Epcot attraction songs. And another interesting detail for the Epcot Forever show is that it will have special effect kites, which sounds like maybe they're going to start using the drone technology that they've been developing on. Okay, also in fall of 2019, we're going to be getting the opening of the Disney Skyliner. Now, a lot of people are hoping and assuming that this will open a little bit ahead of the opening of Galaxy's Edge, which sounds like a smart idea so Disney can work out all the kinks and make sure it's running smoothly before all the crowds come in for Star Wars. So officially right now, Disney has said fall 2019 is when this is opening. Now, this will connect guests to Disney's Hollywood Studios and to the International Gateway entrance to Epcot, which is right next to the France Pavilion. The resorts it will connect to are Disney's Caribbean Beach, the upcoming DVC Riviera Resort, as well as Pop Century and Art of Animation. And the gondolas were recently revealed at a D23 event this past November, and it shows that each gondola will be able to seat at least 6 passengers, if not more. And it's believed that each leg of the journey will only take a couple of minutes, so it should be pretty quick. And of course, still sticking to Hollywood Studios, the final big new attraction coming in 2019 is going to be Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now, I think originally Disney might have wanted to open this in the spring or like in May, but it sounds like Disney has been a little delayed on this, and this may not open until fall 2019. There's been very little details on the opening of this, but it's for sure opening this year. And I reckon this is going to be probably the most underrated new thing. I think people are not really talking about this ride as much as other things, and I think this one's going to really surprise us. The story of this is that you'll be seeing the premiere of a new Mickey and Minnie short, and it's done in the new kind of vintage throwback designs of Mickey and Minnie. And in the short, Mickey and Minnie are heading out of town on a picnic, and they discover conductor Goofy driving a wacky, out-of-control train. So then at that point, you'll actually jump into the movie itself and join Goofy, Mickey, and Minnie on this crazy ride following this wacky train. But this should be a lot of fun for the little ones because I believe it's going to be a trackless ride system, so there'll be no height restrictions on this, and Hollywood Studios definitely needs more rides for little kids, so I think this is going to be a great addition. Okay, so that's all the big stuff coming to Disney World in 2019. The big topics that we've all been waiting for a long time to open, but there's a lot of stuff coming in just the next 2 months. So this next section is focusing on all the new things coming to Disney World, specifically in January and February. And there's a mixture of the annual events in here as well. So first up in January, we've got the Walt Disney World Marathon Weekend. This is taking place between January 9th and 13th. This will feature over 7 different challenges and races, and registration for this has already begun, and there are still spots available for everything right now. So if you're still interested, there's still time to sign up. And registration for this begins at $85 per person. It depends on what you sign up for. And then, mark your calendars, January 18th, there's a lot of new stuff debuting at Disney World. In fact, almost every single park has something new. And the first big thing is one of my favorite events at Epcot, the Festival of the Arts. For me, this is right up there with Food and Wine. This is a fantastic event at Epcot. This will be taking place between January 18th to February 25th. This will be the 3rd annual event, and for those of you who are kind of new to this is completely included in your admission ticket to Epcot. There's no separate ticket for this. But new this year for this event is that the Disney on Broadway concert series will take place all 7 days of the week. So when this first started in 2017, the concerts were only on the weekend. So now this is going to be a full-fledged festival every day of the week. This year will also bring in 13 food studios, as well as special food offerings at additional food locations. And of course, there are dozens of workshops that you can sign up for. If you want to know more about this, stay tuned, because on Sunday, January 13th, I'll be giving you my full guide to this year's festival. Okay, let's next move to Magic Kingdom. Also on January 18th, we will have the debut of the Move It, Shake It, Mouska Dance It Street Party. This is an update to the previous Move It, Shake It dance party, which started at the Magic Kingdom in 2009, believe it or not. This update will feature a new song called It's a Good Time. And the big highlight here is that Mickey and Minnie will be wearing some new birthday celebration outfits. Now, Disney hasn't published any show times yet for this, but I'm sure it's going to be like it was before, in that there'll be several showings of this throughout the afternoon. Also on that date, Minnie will be joining Mickey at the Town Square Theater meet and greet, and they'll be in those same new birthday outfits I just mentioned. FastPass Plus is available here, so if you want to meet them and it's high up on your list of priorities, you can do that. And since Minnie is moving to Town Square, Pluto will temporarily take over Minnie's spot at Pete's Silly Sideshow. So now under that big tent, you'll have Donald, Goofy, Daisy, and Pluto. Let's next move to Disney's Hollywood Studios, also on January 18th. We've got the new Munissaburg City Block. This is going to be a new block party celebrating The Incredibles. Now this will be in the previous Pixar Place area where the old entrance to Toy Story Mania used to be. And alongside the dance party, there'll be a special meet and greet with Edna Mode. I know there are big Edna fans out there, so make sure you take note of this. And Disney has said that there'll be some sort of interactive Jack figure jumping around the place, so keep your eyes open for him. And then just down the street on the very same day, Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc. are making a return to Disney's Hollywood Studios. The two monsters will be meeting guests inside the Walt Disney Presents exhibition, so this is replacing the previous Star-Lord and Groot meet and greet. Okay, and then jumping over to Animal Kingdom, also on January 18th, a new dance party will debut, the Hakuna Matata Time Dance Party. And this is to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the original Lion King movie. The dance party will feature Timon and Rafiki, and Disney has said it's going to be located in Discovery Island. And just like the dance party at Magic Kingdom, we do not have show times yet, but I'm pretty sure this will take place several times throughout the day. Now we've got one more addition coming to Epcot in 2019, and this one I really have no idea when this is opening. Disney has only said that it's coming very soon. So this could be early 2019, who knows? And it's the Beauty and the Beast sing-along. This will be located inside the Impressions de France Theater, but don't worry, it's not replacing the film. It's believed that the sing-along will kind of rotate with performance times of the film, so they'll probably alternate back and forth. The sing-along will be inspired by the recent live-action film, and I'm sure it's going to be very similar to the Frozen sing-along at Hollywood Studios. And then finally, our last event happening in February is the Disney Princess Half Marathon Weekend. This is taking place from February 21st through the 24th, and this one has fewer races than the one in January. And even though registration has already opened, both the 5K and 10K run are sold out. So if you're interested in one of the other races, I would recommend you sign up now. And then of course throughout January and February, we'll probably get more details on Flower and Garden, which starts on March 6th. And before I leave you, I'm just going to give you a quick refurbishment update for January and February as well. In Magic Kingdom, the Walt Disney World Railroad recently closed on December 3rd, and that's to make way for some construction on the Tron coaster. So right now, that is scheduled for refurbishment from December 3rd into summer 2019. And this will also affect the Tomorrowland Speedway, which is currently scheduled for refurbishment from January 2nd to May 17th. And finally, we've got Peter Pan's flight closed from January 7th through February 2nd. It's quite a long refurbishment, I thought there. Epcot has no planned closures for the next 2 months, neither does Disney's Hollywood Studios, but Animal Kingdom does. Back in October, the Wildlife Express train to Rafiki's Planet Watch was reduced to seasonal operation, and this is expected to return in spring 2019. So if you're coming in January and February, that continues to be closed. Also, Disney just announced a really long refurb for Kali River Rapids. This is going to be closed from January 7th to March 23rd. And if you're hoping to go to the water parks, Typhoon Lagoon will close on January 6th for its annual refurb and reopen on March 17th. And Blizzard Beach will reopen on January 6th, so they tend to swap out in these winter months. So that's a look at all the new additions coming in January and February. If you liked this little update, please leave a comment down below and let me know, because I'm considering to do this every 2 months, like a nice little recap of what's coming in the next few months, what's closing and this and that. So yeah, let me know, give me your feedback. But that brings us to the end of today's main show, and actually the final main show for 2018. It's been really fun to come back in the last few months and do these weekly shows. Thank you so much for watching all of them. I hope all of these videos have given you lots of planning advice for your family vacations. And before the holidays, I'll have one more little video coming out later this week with some tips on how to tour the parks during the week of Christmas and New Year's Eve. And I will be taking a little break for the holidays for the end of the month, but don't worry, there'll be little ride videos coming up here and there. And there'll be a full comeback in January for 2019. So thank you so much for watching today's episode. And remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.